What's up, guys and girls? So today, as you see by the title of the video below, I'm going to be talking about not just this, but a lot of stuff. But the main topic is going to be on finding a job that interests you. Now, a lot of people out there may be watching this and they're like, I am so far away from that, why does it matter? And you're probably like annoyed by it at this point. You know, your parents are annoying you about finding a good major in college, and you're just like, I don't really care at this point, it's so far away, and so forth. And I feel like most people that I've met in college, from freshman to senior, they're pretty much like this. Some of them have really strong directions, but most, they're just sort of lethargic. They choose a major and they're adequately content with it. But I want to talk about where I sit now. I'm gonna graduate college, and it went by real fast. I enjoyed my major of biology, but the career path after that, I didn't want to pursue, because a lot of reasons, but mainly one, is really hard and strenuous to become like a doctor. You have to put in, like, you have to slave away for years on end on very little sleep. And for me, that wouldn't be even something enjoyable, or to a level where I could contently, on even just a semi-happy basis, live a healthy life. I really feel like to get through that, the hurdle for me was partially how tough it was, but more so that I could probably do it despite how tough it was. And no, I probably wouldn't get into a top tier med school. Probably like I'd probably end up going to like a Caribbean school or some bottom tier med school. But hey, that's what a lot of kids do. That's how they're in med school now. But for me, it wasn't worth sleep. I didn't think it was worth the gain. Like, let's be frank, money is an issue. You know, some people like I'm just gonna lay it out there, because there's a lot of people who are lying and saying, "Oh, it's not a factor." It's like, come on. Some part of you is doing it because you know doctors pay very well, and you're doing it for the money in the long run. And I'm not gonna lie, I'm gonna be honest. Unlike all the dozens and hundreds of other people I've spoken to who are considering this, money is an issue, and I can see it in their eyes, but they'll never admit it. And I felt like if that's one of the central reasons, it's not worth it for me. It's like, it's not worth being unhappy and slaving away for years. I mean, literally, if you start now and you get accepted right after college, that's still like, you're going to graduate at 30 years of age, after med school fellowship and the specialty thing and whatever, residency. So for me, it was just not worth it. Like, I really felt you had to enjoy it at least on some level. If you're slaving away, spending 90% of your day just studying, hammering the books, and observing surgeries and so forth. So that leads to the central question: whether you're an engineer or you're majoring in music or whatever, finding a job that you love. Now, this has been brought up a lot of times. Many people have different perspectives on it. Some people are like, I want to do something that I love, and the pay comes afterwards. And because I have this mentality, that is why I am where I am in life, a successful actor, blah 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 blah. And Will Smith has a similar mentality. He said something like something different, but I feel like if you say that, I mean, I don't even know anymore. Because for me, I mean, like, what if your interests are just video gaming? Like, that's all you're interested in doing, and you know there's no way in heck you're going to get paid to be a video gamer, despite you being very skilled at the game, you know you're nowhere near as skilled enough to even contend. Like, I know that for a fact. Um, I play League of Legends, and I've put a lot of time into the game. I enjoy the game, but I know the pro scene enough to know that how, like, for every professional gamer that makes it, there's 5 people who fail, and the life of a professional gamer is not even that. Like, nothing's ever as it seems in the movies. A pro gamer's life, even if you really enjoy the game, like, you have to really enjoy the game, because you're gonna be spending like 10 hours a day practicing with your team for League of Legends, and it becomes like a lot of analysis and fighting and arguing and so forth. Anyhow, my point is finding like your dream job, something that you love, that you can get paid doing. The thing is, I mean, I don't know how hard it is, but I know people who have, I wouldn't, they haven't died yet, but they're going to die doing a job that they hated. And there's this one person, I'm not going to name names, but she's doing that, and she's probably going to retire with a job she hates, but she realizes she can't do anything else. Like, she realizes there's nothing else that she can do that will pay her. Her skill set is limited. And it's tough out there. Like, let's just be frank, it's tough to find, because like, you're not going to get paid for everything you do. Like, you can't just look around the room and choose something and there's an open job out in the market where people will just accept you. And therein lies the whole ordeal with this idea that, oh, just do something that you love and the money will flow in. Especially in the Great Depression, I mean, that's far off, but it could happen again. I mean, the stock market crashed then, it could happen again quite recently. And in those times, like it somewhat is now, there's a lot of people who realize that the options are limited. I'm going to have to bow my head and choose a job that I may not be the most interested in, because money and food and rent come first. And it sucks and stuff, but that's what it is. Like, survival beats all else when you have to choose between survival or something else. But I want to elaborate on Will Smith's quote, because I don't want to put him in the wrong limelight. He's actually said something like, if you had the choice of 2 jobs, there's a huge difference. He says, if you have the choice between 2 jobs, and that's pretty immediately assuming that you already have those jobs in line. He says, choose the one you enjoy more, even if it pays less, rather than the one you don't like but you're doing it for pay. And he says he's seen a lot of people who have screwed up by making the wrong choice. Warren Buffett has said something similar. I can't remember exactly. I think it was something like, if you were financially independent, what job would you take? And whatever you respond to that's the job you should have. Again, these are really cool, this is really cool advice from really successful people. But, I mean, for me at least, it's like, what do I like? I mean, I like a lot of stuff that I don't know if I can get an income doing. And then a lot of those stuff, like the friend I just made an analogy to, if you do those things, what if you end up with a skill set that can't really be translated in the future to anything? So, like, let's say fitness instructor, like, you do that for 10-20 years, your skill set is very, very limited. Whereas if you do something more white collar, you could say, like some business management or analysis or something like that, or computer programming, you can translate that to a lot of stuff. But at the end of the day, like, a lot of people care too much about how much money you're making. That's a huge problem. Um, and they're always comparing themselves to like the top tier. So right now it's like, six figures is considered awesome, and I don't think that's the case. I don't know. I've yet to get into the real world and experience it for myself, but um, I don't think that money is really worth it if you hate your job, or if you're doing it because you believe this money will get you girls or get you friends or get you approval or respect. Like, who really cares about any of that? At the end of the day, like, I feel like if I went through that route and it attracted all these people, I would have realized, oh shoot, all these people are fake as F. They only like me for my money. True friends wouldn't even care about any of that. And it'd all be a complete waste of time anyways. Like, why do that when you could do a job you enjoy rather than laboring 8 hours a day doing something you hate? But then again, it comes back to the big question, like, what do I enjoy doing? And can I actually make a living off of that? And there's a lot of different perspectives on it. Like, some people say, like, it's a far off dream. Some people think there's a compromise to be reached, and some people think there's no way you can do it. And I think just my personal thing is just try your best to get both of these areas under control. So find a job that you love the most, like that you actually love doing, and then look at all the pros and cons of it. What if you find a job like that and it's a job but it's not for it's free, you don't get paid for it? You'd probably have to compromise and throw it to a scrap heap and find something else. And the next thing you look to is your second most favorite job that you love doing, enjoy doing, and then look at the income from it. And honestly, there's a lot of work involved, I feel like, and a lot of these glamour jobs probably aren't as glamorous as they maybe appear. I do know for sure that acting and modeling at the lowest level is probably very cutthroat and gruesome, and people probably treat you like crap on set. Hopefully not if you're lucky and you get like a decent group of folk producing the movie and directing the movie and so forth, but you never know. And then go from there. Just like try your best to get the best of these areas, and depending on how lucky you are, like if you grew up in the Great Depression in the United States, you'd probably have to throw a lot of this stuff away. You'd probably have to get a job that you probably didn't like, and it was worth it because you got money to feed yourself when a lot of people were starving to death. So it really depends on the time, and I really think just try your best to do it, and even if you fail, you're much better off than a lot of people. I mean, think about the Holocaust. Like, they were just looking for food. Like, none of those people, none of the Jewish people who got caught up in the concentration camps in the Holocaust would have cared if they were doing a crappy job that they hated, if they were getting paid and they had food. So many of them starved to death during their time in the concentration camps. They just wanted food, regardless. So it's a matter of perspective and relative and comparison to those less fortunate than you. But always try your best. I feel like a lot of people, like the person I was mentioning, and a lot of people in life, like good people, family and friends, they end up having to compromise because jobs are hard to find. There's a high unemployment rate, and it sucks. And a lot of people say, intelligence doesn't really matter really when you get into a real world. That, I think it's It does, and it sucks, but it does. But that's not saying that if you're dumb, you can't be just as successful. But intelligence definitely gives you an edge. It gets you into better colleges, which gets you into better jobs, and allows you to pursue a lot of stuff with that, without that constant fear of, um, am I actually smart enough to do it? By the way, that's something that's a stupid fear, and really you just have to try and see for yourself. Because a lot of people think they can't do it, and they silence that fear, and they realize I'm actually not that dumb, and then they end up getting into med school or so forth. But yeah, that's I don't know myself. For those of you who think I'm some sort of guru, I'm not. I'm trying to figure this out myself, which is why I'm making this video. I honestly don't know anymore. Long story short, what the heck am I going to do for a job? Why did it go so quickly? Part of me is happy, part of me is not. It's a new chapter in my life. Thus is how life works. It always moves forward, so no point moaning about the past. But what to do? Because I mean, right now I like science, but I also like business, and I like these things. And for me, I actually do like them. But I feel like in the past, and a lot of other people, they convince themselves that they like something when deep down they're just impartial. They're like mild. They're like warm, cold with it. They're not like hot or cold. They're like in the middle with it. And that almost prompted me to do a lot of stuff that I would have ended up hating. One of those things was applying to graduate school for bioinformatics, which is a form of biology. And at the time I was like, you know what, I'm kind of interested in this, but it was just me sort of tricking myself. Honestly, a lot of that stuff I didn't really enjoy. A lot of it went over my head, but I passed the class, bioinformatics, and I realized at the end of it, this is not something I want to spend the rest of my life doing. So those with the luxury of the choice, go for it, I guess. Just try your best to do it. And right now I'm guessing I'm at a point where it's like, I don't even know. Certain things would be nice, but I mean, I may have to compromise, and I guess that's okay, you know. I know a lot of friends' parents and my parents who have done the same thing, and I don't know. It would be great to just, you know, make money off of YouTube and just live off that, but that's hard as heck. But I do like making these videos, give or take. Sometimes it becomes a chore when I get too many questions sent to me and I respond to them, but more or less I like doing this. And yeah, that's about it. I do also have a gaming channel, but that one's, in terms of quality, fallen sort of short, and I'm hoping to fix that in the future so it's not that bad. Such is life. What can I say? Warren Buffett's quote, like I mentioned before, if I didn't have to get, I mean, I feel like it's somewhat of a stupid thing to say, because if I was financially independent, meaning I didn't have to depend on money, and a lot of other people, the job I would choose probably wouldn't be a job. It'd probably be me just laying on a couch every day watching TV or playing games or playing golf every day or basketball or so forth. But you know, you can't make a job doing that, and it's really tough to do that. Professional golf player and so forth. So luck favors certain people, but you gotta make your own luck in this world. What do I like? What do I like? What do I like? It's a big question, but I think in the long run, the biggest thing is that, well, one, you got to cherish every moment, because there are people who are dying pretty young due to cancer, which is crazy. And quite recently, I've been told with a few people, family, friends who are in this predicament. And I mean, at the end of the day, what does it all matter? Like, the next day you can wind up having cancer, and then you're so young, but so what? You're gonna die in a few years anyways. Like, doesn't really matter that much. Just cherish every moment of your life. You never know. I mean, there are people who walk out the door, boom, car hits them, dead. Sorry, drunk driver, what can I do? Nothing, you're dead. So just cherish every moment. Who the heck cares if you can't find the perfect job initially? Work towards it, you know? Find a crappy job and work towards it. And in the next 10 years, maybe 20 years, one thing I am very scared towards is the fact that a lot of people, they just, after college, they very quickly get married. And it's just too soon for me. I mean, this is crazy stuff. And this is kind of stupid and stuff, but in the long run, there's a lifestyle I at least want to live and experience for a while, which is just maybe traveling to places like Cali and living there and experiencing the world, meeting a lot of friends, going to like and doing all these awesome things. Like, you see it on Twitter photos and Instagram photos, like especially with hot girls. Like, they'll have these like photos on Facebook or some social network, and it's like they're traveling and they're constantly doing this stuff, going to these really cool restaurants, or I mean, that's all right and stuff, but I don't want to spend too much time burning money at restaurants. But you know, they're doing all this stuff during, like, I feel like in Cali and Florida and Vegas, there's a lot of crazy stuff going down. I'm not talking like coked up parties with cocaine or anything, but really cool stuff. Like, you can go rock climbing, skydiving there. You can experience the boardwalk. You can meet a lot of cool people. You can go to a lot of these crazy things like concerts and so forth. And I don't know, that may be something I want to experience, or maybe down the road I'm gonna realize, you know what, that's too much partying and so forth for me. Who knows? Anyhow, that's all I gotta say. Maybe, hopefully you got something from this video. If not, thanks for watching this whole thing. As always, like, favorite, comment, and subscribe.